Okay, so welcome back guys. Let's go ahead and carry on with this piece. Sorry about last time I cut off, but my recording software freaked out, so I had to end it there. Anyway, so let's go ahead and carry on with this top piece. We're going to go ahead and create this top sort of handle as a separate part of this. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll probably go ahead and start off with a standard cube, and then start extruding bits out of it. Shouldn't be too bad. So let's go ahead and make a cube, and I'm just going to go ahead and create a cube. And let's go ahead and move this into place. Okay, and on this reference you can't really see, but this top sort of handle actually goes all the way to the top. So that's how we're going to do it. So let's go ahead and start pushing these verts around. So there's that side, there's that side. Let's go ahead and add a loop in here, just so we can go ahead and move this around. And then let's grab all the bottom bits and pull this up. Okay, so if you notice, there's actually a little sort of a bevel going on here. So let's go ahead and do that. And if I'm not mistaken, because our reference doesn't line up, this actually ends up over here. And let's go ahead and push this a bit more to here. Okay, so let's go ahead and quickly do these bubbles. I'm just going to go ahead and add a edge loop across here, and probably an edge loop somewhere here. Now we can just go around and move this bottom vert so it's a bit cornered out like so. Same with this. So when we go ahead and smooth it, this will be a little bit beveled. Okay, now let's go ahead and add in a loop up here and a loop up here. Let's go into our perspective, and we haven't moved it into place yet. So let's go ahead and select these two top faces. And let's go ahead and extrude, not bridge, but extrude them out. Okay, and I'm dragging it up all the way to the top. And then we're going to go ahead and push this way. Okay, so we get that sort of tilt that we need. Now we can go ahead and push this guy back into place. So it's going to sit somewhere there, like so. Okay, probably a bit further out maybe. And I don't really like, I think we'll go ahead and actually make this shorter. Something like that. Okay, and now all we gotta do is add in the edge loop so this will smooth properly. So let's go ahead and do that. And because we made it as a separate sort of part, it should be a lot easier for us to go ahead and smooth this guy out. For some reason, insert edge loop was freaking out a little bit then. Okay, so just adding in the edge loop, so we can go ahead and smooth it. This will look quite nice, hopefully. Okay, we're going to have to add in a few in the center here, just so this will hold its shape better. Okay, now here we got to be a little bit careful, due to the fact that we want this to be a bevel, and currently if we leave this as it is, it's not going to be. So we're going to have to go ahead and well, we'll see how it smooths, and then if it doesn't smooth properly, we'll go ahead and fix that. But for now, let's just worry about adding in these loops. Okay, so I think we're pretty much nearly there. Let's add one here on the top. And again, you want to add these loops in a little bit nicer than me. I'm just trying to do it, trying to do this fairly fast. Let's go ahead and smooth this, see how it's looking. Okay, so it looks pretty good. Like I said, this sort of thing we're going to have to go ahead and quickly fix so it doesn't start smoothing that out. So let's go ahead, and what we want to go ahead and do is basically just delete this. Delete these edges. Like so. And then you're going to have to go ahead and let me just think for a sec. So basically, if you go ahead and you're going to have to delete this guy as well, I think. No, we're going to have to leave that guy. Well, we're going to have to leave this in. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to go ahead and use a merge vertex tool and merge this down. So it's kind of, it's going to be like sort of extrude. And then we can go ahead and get rid of this edge here. And I think I've done this wrong on this side. Let me just see how I've done this. So I'm merging that vert to this, as far as I can see. We can actually, I mean, this should smooth properly now after we get rid of these edges. So let's go ahead and delete them. And where's my, let's get this guy down here. Okay. And that should work pretty much fine now. We might have to fix this as well. Let's go ahead and do that real quick. So I'm just dragging this out, so it's not as close. Okay, so that's pretty much fine. You're just going to have to go ahead and get rid of this loop. Yeah. And then sort out these verts as well, real quick. Delete this. And we're also going to have to go ahead and delete these edges here on the bottom. Okay, cool. Let's go ahead and smooth, see how it's looking. So as you can see, this will smooth properly now. Apart from this guy here is freaking out a little bit, so let's go have a look and see what's going on. Okay, let's go ahead and connect that back up. So use our interactive split, just hook this back up, okay, and it should be fine now. Okay, so that moves quite nice. Okay, so that's looking good. Let's go ahead and unisolate, and there's our little handle, okay. So let's go ahead and group all these guys together and then move it over. Well, let's go ahead and check the back as well. Okay, so it's sticking through. That's why we made this casing. We're just going to have to go ahead and make this a little bit longer. So let's go ahead and do that now. So I'm just going to unsmooth. And then let's try to go ahead and select all invert. So I'm just going to isolate. Probably it would be easier to do it in our front view. Let's go ahead and select all these guys. Unisolate. Let's go ahead and move. Okay, and let's isolate this again and add in another loop here, so it will keep its shape. And then we're just going to have to go ahead and move this back panel that we made further back. Actually, probably going to need like 2 of them, so let's go ahead and do that. So we're going to need one roughly around here that will give us this back plate, and then we're going to go ahead and duplicate this and move it further back. That will sort of cover up our back, so in case you can see inside the case, you'll only see this little sort of box. Okay, so now that we have this, let's go ahead and group all these guys together, and I think I got everything. Let's name this door handle. And let's go ahead and duplicate this and then scale, and it's going to be Z-1. Okay, and we got a second door handle in there as well, and let's just go ahead and check. Okay, so it lines up nearly spot on, but not quite. So let's go ahead and modify center pivot on this and just move it in the right place. I'm not exactly sure why this is not lining up. Let me scale it over. That should be fine. Let's go have a look. Okay, so that looks great. We basically got our door finished. So let's go ahead and select all these guys and name this door left. And now we can go ahead and duplicate this and then scale it on X-1. And we basically got our other door as well, where we're going to have to go ahead and just cut in this sort of window for. Okay, so what we're actually going to go ahead and do is cut it on this one. So I'm going to actually go ahead and delete this for now and duplicate this again, move it over and hide it. So this is going to be our original door. It's just so we can see things easier. And we can go ahead and start cutting things in for this door. Okay, so if you have a look in our side view now, instead of flipping reference and so on, we'll just do it on this and then move the whole thing over. So because we already have all these edge loops here, it should be fairly easy for us to go ahead and cut this in. Basically all we're going to have to do is we can move some of these edges to go ahead and block out the rough sort of shape. So while this is all smoothed, we can go ahead and select, let's say, this edge, move it over. Oh, that's not going to happen. That's not going to be good because on the other side we have the loops as well. So what we're going to go ahead and do is going to go ahead and delete the faces first. So let's say probably all of those, if we get rid of, it should be fine. So we just deleted all them faces, okay? And now we should be able to go ahead and start adding in loops and moving things around to go ahead and get this shape looking a little bit nicer. So what we can do first of all is, you can see this guy is smoothing too much. And most likely we can also go ahead and get rid of all these edges on the bottom now. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's double click all these guys and delete. Okay, on top we can leave them in. So same thing here. Now if you have a look, they're both gonna sort of smooth that way because they don't have these supporting edges around here. So let's go ahead and add a couple in. I'm just gonna add 2. And because we deleted it, it doesn't go all the way around, I think, yeah. So what what we should do is cut this guy in half again and then duplicate it over, and hopefully that's not gonna cause us any issues. So let's go ahead and do that. Go and put a loop in the center, go into our front view and try to select all these faces. If you can. Well, that didn't work out well. Let's go ahead and try that again, and if not, we're gonna have to go ahead and do a different sort of technique. Okay, so that's not gonna work either. So what we're gonna have to go ahead and do, because I don't think this is perfectly straight, is we're gonna go ahead and fill this hole in first. So let me undo the these edge loops. So I'm just gonna delete them. Let's have a look. Okay, so that looks good. And let's go ahead and fill up this this hole that we sort of cut in. So go to mesh and then fill hole, and then we'll go ahead and cut. Okay, that's not going to work very well. So what we're going to do instead is we're going to go ahead and select. Actually, this is going to be faster anyway. So select that whole loop and extrude. And we're going to go ahead and push this in as close as we can. And then we should be able to just merge the verts together. And actually it would be probably a better idea to go ahead and snap, okay, to make sure that they line up perfectly, and then select all these verts and just have a really small threshold, 0.02, 0.02, and hopefully that will work. So let's go ahead and smooth it. Okay, so it worked fine. So now when we add in the loops, it will go all the way around. So let's unisolate and see how our windows are looking. So let's go ahead and add in a couple of loops here. First, same here. Okay, so there's still this guy is still smoothing over a lot, and it's actually one of these faces, because this is still not going through. So I guess it didn't, for some reason it didn't merge. So I'm just going to delete them edges. And let's have a look. These guys, yeah, so the vertices didn't merge here properly. So let's just go ahead and select them all again and give it a little bit of a bigger threshold, and hopefully it's not going to cause us any issues elsewhere. So I'm going to try 0.05. Okay, so that still didn't merge. Try 0.01. Okay, so that worked. Hopefully it didn't merge anything else together, so around the mesh. So let's go ahead and try this again. Okay, so add one there, and then we'll move these verts around to get the right thing that we need. Let's have a look in our side view. Go ahead and smooth this. Okay, so that's looking better. Now we're just going to have to go ahead and line all this stuff up with our door. It would be better if this edge went around, so I think we're going to go ahead and do that first. Because it will be easier if there is some more space in between these sort of guys here. I mean, this bit. Let me just have a look. Yeah, we should really do that. So what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to go ahead and get this joint up. So we could go ahead, possibly fastest way, get these guys deleted really quick. Oh, I could have double clicked. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and we're going to go ahead and delete this guy as well. Let me have a look on the other side. We'll go ahead and delete this as well. And then we're going to go ahead and extrude this along. So there's our first one. And we can actually go ahead and snap it. And extrude it again to get that loop, and again we can go ahead and snap it to here, do it again, snap it there, extrude again, snap it to that, extrude again, snap it to this. So I'm just pressing G to extrude again, and then W to move, and then selecting the axes, and then holding down V to snap it to that vert. Okay, So again, holding down V, snapping that, and then extrude, move, select that, move it there. Okay, so now we have all this hooked up. You can go ahead and quickly select them verts. So I'm just going to go ahead and select all of these. Merge vertices with that threshold. Okay, great. So now we can quickly, start moving these verts around to line it up with our door.